Okay, I'm going to preface this one by saying I am not the master of Revit railings, but I will show you a little bit about how to edit them. Because the issue we're coming across here is we have a handrail that's going down the stair where we theoretically need it. You know, we're pretending that this is a commercial building for this purpose right now. In a commercial, actually, let me just talk about that very briefly. In a commercial building, the general idea of the code in a commercial building, you need a handrail on both sides. In a residential building, you only need a handrail on one side of your stair, assuming it's a certain number of feet narrow or something like that. I don't know. I don't do a lot of residential, but that's the general idea. So assuming this is a commercial building-ish, or we just want a handrail on both sides, the handrail doesn't need to continue around the rest of this mezzanine. A handrail is really only required for stairs. So you can take the handrail out and just leave the guardrail to guard people from falling off. So we need to split this and make it two separate railing elements and then change the railing family to be guardrail only. So let's do that real quick. The way that I'm going to do that is to just copy this thing, and then I'm going to paste a copy of it right in place. So what that allows me to do is just kind of take one part of the rest of the thing out where I need it. So I can edit this path, go over here, and I'm going to get rid of, let's see, I'll get rid of everything up to there. Okay, and I'll leave all right, well, all right, and then the next one. Huh?
You did copy of it?
Yeah.
It was so fast.
I did Control-C.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, when I say I'm making a copy, assume I'm doing Control-C.
Okay, good.
All right.
Other
Yeah.
people watching your video.
Well, they hear a real.
No, sometimes you're really doing it fast.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
copying.
All right. I'll try and slow down and say I'm hitting Control-C. Anyway, but you don't have to worry about Control-V because if I'm going to insert something in place, I have to go to this menu. That's actually not that menu actually. I have to go here because if you hit Control-V, you have to manually place it. It's just a quick tip for you guys. So anyway, let me go back to what I was doing. So this railing, then I'm going to go from that same point and get rid of here on. So now I've got, whoop, look at that. So look at that. So it broke, and this is your first little understanding into Revit railings. So this particular element needs a new host. So we drew or started the stair on level 1, and so the railings were associated with the stair. And when I disassociated this railing with the stair by it being located off of the stair, it still went with level 1 as its base. So we can pick a new host and select the floor and it'll jump up. I'm surprised there aren't gasps and ahs. That's so amazing. Mind blown. All right, so anyway, I don't know why, oh, that's first floor, that's why. So going back to this guy, we need to make concessions now in order to get this thing to really function properly, all right? There are some things you need to do with these funky little corners, right? It might be a best practice to just completely break apart the handrail entirely if you can't get the handrail to end properly. But anyway, let's create that alternate family that doesn't have a handrail first. In the menu here, we have guardrail pipe, guardrail rectangular, bottom fill, and then we have two handrail families. So those handrail ones are handrail only. So that one doesn't have a 42-inch guardrail level. Anyway, what we're going to do is edit this type and duplicate it, and we're going to say guardrail pipe only. All right, and then what we're going to do here is you can, well, I'll introduce you to some stuff about this menu, okay? So this menu is broken down into a couple of simple things and then a couple of very complex things. Under construction, the rail structure and baluster placement and offset, they are really difficult to work with. Okay, so I suggest trying to find handrail families you can load in from other resources if possible, and then just kind of modify them to suit what your needs are. But the good thing is the top rail and the handrails are actually relatively easy to modify. So if you look down here, basically the top rail and the handrails are just give me a profile and then tell me what the diameter or tell me what the position of that profile is. So the profile here for our top rail is circular, 1.5 inches, right? That's basically a family profile element that we load into the project that then the handrail system family can use. Okay, I don't want to show you how to do that. It's kind of as complicated as the view titles. Remember that. But anyway, so if you need to change that to like a square one, rectangular, elliptical, you can just select from this list. Okay, but anyway, we're going to leave top rail on, and we're going to turn off handrail 1. So when we turn off handrail 1, that handrail goes away, and we have a guardrail, and then we have a handrail that stops at the top. Any questions? Okay, so let's clean up this corner. I told you that, oh, I gotta open the second floor. So I told you guys that the handrail family, or the guardrail rather, might have to make some like funny little connection concessions. Well, that actually just looks like this. I'm gonna edit this path, and what I need to do is actually turn this path down in order to create that corner. So it doesn't matter what it is exactly. I just go to that edge and I turn it back. I could even just do like a 1/4 inch, something that's barely even visible, and hit check, and it's going to turn back and connect. Now it's not perfect, right? If you look at it really closely, there's an overlap, but it's the best you can do with a Revit family. Additionally, part of the complication is that this corner piece creates a post at both ends. So the post is actually going to, you're creating 3 posts here, right? You have the post for that 1/4 inch sort of offset. And I guess what you could do is edit the path and extend it a little bit to try to get them to sync up, but I don't know exactly how far back that other post is. Let's try 1.5. But either way, it's still a little bit exhaustive. And now there's only a double post. Okay, but that's what Revit does. It doesn't really truly understand what you want it to do. Okay. What questions do you have about that? How to create a new or alternate or somewhat different railing family? Yes?
Could you have just drawn the profile, but keep the lines separate and then load it, and then just select one portion of that line and then just edit that type? Or will it not let you load a line that's broken?
What do you mean by load?
I mean, like when you finish drawing your stair path.
Yeah.
So if, let's say you draw 2 line segments and they're not connected, it won't let you okay that?
I don't think so. It's actually been a while since I've tried that, but I think if you try to draw 2 separate line segments, it won't let you. Yeah, railing line needs to be a single one. Yeah.
That seems like that would be such a simple fix.
Yeah.
If they just let you do multiple segments at the same time.
Yeah, you would think, but the programmers just aren't that intuitive, I guess.
I'm sure people have been complaining about this for a while now.
Yeah, Revit stairs have been like the worst part of Revit since the beginning. I guess they can't figure out how to make it work more intuitively. Although, you know, I will admit, admittedly, knowing exactly how you want the railing to be detailed and being able to create a simple enough parametric condition for that for everyone to create anything is incredibly difficult to do. So, you know, this actually isn't too bad. And if you needed to, you just go into your elevation and, you know, kind of do like some drafting lines over top of it and cover it up, you know.
As far as the BIM side of it, then you end up with extra balusters.
You do. Yeah, you do. But if you're getting into that level of complexity and accuracy, I'd actually suggest Dynamo, which is like the grasshopper of Revit, because you can create this parametric family with exactly the same parametric conditions and relationships that you desire. So it's a little bit smarter than using these railings, and for a level of BIM accuracy that you've got something like that where you're actually doing quantity takeoffs of how many balusters you have, you're going to want to use something like that anyway.
For the railings, they have to be only on the second floor to adjust that?
Only on the what?
On the second floor?
Yeah. For this one, needs to only be on the second floor. Any other questions? Okay, guys. So let's get to there. I think that was a really easy one that I talked like 12 minutes to show you how to do one tiny little thing, but